Thanks to join us for a new Sparkle interview. So as you know, the idea is to learn from colleagues and from other board members how they use governance in their transformation path. And we are always trying to link it to the subjects which are used by the research of GUBERNA, meaning resilience, sustainable governance, board dynamics, or technology and innovations. Today we have the pleasure and the honor to do the interview with Leen Vandecruys. She is, I would say, a famous person because she combines music with finance, with legal, and today the purpose is to find out how this combination fits with the role of boards, because of course the focus is on that subject. And we also would like to know a little bit more what was your drive to go to your new position as CEO of a lawyer office company, which is, in my opinion, very different from finance. So it would be interesting also to share this kind of motivation, what drives you to do this. Keep always in mind that what we discuss here has always as purpose to learn from your point of view and your expertise, because at the end GUBERNA's network becomes stronger and stronger if we share openly those things which works, but also sometimes those things that are failures. Thanks Leen to be here with us. I would say, as we always do, we give you the floor to present a little bit your professional experiences, and then we start really with the interview.
Okay, thank you, Danny, for having me here in your Sparkle sessions, and also thanks to GUBERNA for giving me the opportunity to share some insights on governance from my personal perspective. Yes, currently I am the CEO of Monarch Law, as you said. It's a leading independent Belgian business law firm, and I'm in that role since September 24, so quite recently. Before joining Monarch Law, I held some positions as head of general legal affairs, for example, within ING. And I was also general counsel at Leen Private Bank. And I worked in the financial industry also for BNP Paribas Fortis and Saxo Bank, big bank before. I'm holding some board positions too within Thomas More Education, VOCA Antwerpen Waasland, Truncus, a family office, and I'm holding a master degree of law and business economics from the University of Leuven. And yeah, I completed a program with Fibelfin Academy and GUBERNA concerning board in the financial industry in 2019. And I also have a personal development program at INSEAD Business School. And before the CEO mandate, let's say, yeah, I was more active in the financial industry, but I'm also very involved in the cultural industry, and that's indeed the combination that we are going to discuss from that perspective and from a governance perspective.
Wow! That was a long list of things you are doing.
Yes, but it's very motivating.
And so then I have to say you twice, thank you that you take the time to be here, because with all your time that you need for all this, I guess you have a fantastic life. And one of the things which fascinate me, that you are also president of the board of the Munt, Money. How did you come there?
Yeah, so the Munt is the famous federal opera house in Brussels. It's maybe already as a child when one of my passions is music and singing also. I started playing the piano when I was 6, I think. And I'm now also a soprano singer for many years, I think 16 years, in the Octopus Chamber and Symphonic Choir. So it's my sport to sing, let's say, and it also creates a big connection between people to sing and to make music together. And it gives interpersonal dynamics, and if you work with an orchestra and with a choir, that's very similar to those what you do in other sectors.
Yeah,
and,
I can imagine. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also the confrontation between the musicians and, let us say, the artists in the opera who are more the actors. I think that creates certain tension, and then indeed you could use your management capacities to manage this.
Yeah, it's like a board environment, let's say. You can compare it. No, it's not the same. But yeah, you have also a maestro for an orchestra, and it's like a president in the board, let's say, who gives giving and motivating the group to work together, and that
and
comes
the
to
Munt is
result.
again recognized as Opera House of the Year. I wrote somewhere.
Yes.
Can you clarify this a little bit better, because I'm not.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. So recently, I think some weeks ago, La Monnaie, the Munt, was crowned as the best opera house of the year 24 by Opera Awards, and it's really a good recognition for what the house is doing. They could be very proud of it. It's a recognition for the whole team and also the executive committee for all the work they did and the creation they made. It's really. I'm very proud of it.
Thanks for sharing. So it's again an example where I see you say modest, I'm doing that, but at the end it's top quality what comes out there. And the Belgians are not always, like the Dutch, for example, proud on what they are realizing.
Yeah, that's maybe something we miss, yes.
Now, making the link to the boards, what are you using, in fact? Why did you decide to go, in addition to your management jobs, to the board mandates? What was your driver for that?
Yes, from my role as a corporate lawyer and the general counsel in the banking sector, I was also responsible for good governance and prudential supervision from Belgian and European regulators, such as the National Bank of Belgium, FSMA, and the European Central Bank. And I also served as secretary of the board of directors, but also for the remuneration committee and the audit and risk committee. And this sparkled my interest in governance, let's say. Also my personal drive for solutions supported by various stakeholders and the balancing and installing of checks and balances aligned with my interests in governance and the role where I could create added value, which also gives me a lot of energy and satisfaction too.
It sounds very interesting, because it looks like you have a kind of natural interest in governance, because many careers I see from other board members is 30 years in something specialist and then doing the step to go to board. But you make really the link relatively fast in your, or early in your career, with making the link to good governance, which is something I think GUBERNA likes to hear.
Yeah, from a certain point of view, you can say that's quite organic evolution within my roles that I had in the financial industry and linked to the legal functions I had. But additionally, maybe also my role as a judge aligned with seeking consensus decision making and a solution-oriented vision to do the right thing. That's also for my director's role at the Royal Opera House. There was also that passion for great music. So additional to my interest in governance. But it was also combined with my history and my childhood, that I wanted to work also to contribute to the cultural policy making in the broad sense. So besides the wonderful singing experiences that I have and conveying the emotion to an audience, and with the Octopus Choir we were in Beaux-Arts, in Flaget, Chapelle Reine Elisabeth. So the single, it's really a nice experience, but that gives also that feeds my interest and my motivation.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To have impact on the policy making.
Yeah, because
too.
the organizations with whom you have worked are all very, they have one thing in common, they are famous and they deliver quality, yeah?
I think
so
everything starts to deliver quality.
It looks like it's a little bit your DNA, to look for that kind of projects. So when you bring that back to the board room, what is, let us say, in your experience, the most important topics for 25 that should be handled in, I would say, most of the boards where you are active?
Yes, I think it's always important to focus in strategy making, but I think for 25 the priorities are always that you have enough knowledge about your market and your colleagues or competitors, and that you focus your strategy on the value creation you have. So I think that's a starting point, but it's also important to see how you are developing that strategy. So, and there is also technological advancement, IT, security, for HR domains, for example. I think better collaboration and also talent development is really important. And then, yeah, always the budget and the resources on finance must be correct. That's also a starting point, I think. And then maybe more social impact. It's, yeah, the ESG is important too, but I try to focus also within my mandates more on the S and the G, because for me it's more, it's a services industry, and also in a cultural industry I think it's very important to have that societal impact, and also the governance goes together with your mission. As
if your board has made this kind of reflections, are you then also going in dialogue with your management to check if these are the right priorities? In practice, how are you doing that?
Yes, it's important to have, everybody has his own role, and I think it's good to have a good interaction with the executive committee and with the CEO in special. But I think it's good to have that dialogue, but it's to the EXCO itself to define their priorities, and then also to discuss it in the board. Or maybe it's also a changing thing, or there could be an evolution in your strategy too. It's a dynamic thing, but we as a board, we can have our vision on it and try to challenge a little bit why the priorities are what they present. And
you touched, of course, a topic which is IT, which is a little bit my baby in my professional life. So
yes, I know.
How do you see that then, that IT can help you in improving activities in those areas where you are active?
So yeah, maybe now in my role as a CEO, but it's not the board, but I see a lot of influence about artificial intelligence, of
Yeah.
course. So we are really eager to see how we can facilitate some efficiency goals in the organization and in our daily professional life. For the lawyers, it's really important. And I think in general, it's a tool that can help to facilitate more value creation for the client, or it will never really replace, I think, the human interaction between a lawyer and the client, but it will certainly help to facilitate some things that also from a data perspective, we have so much knowledge now about the market, about text, documents, templates within our business. And then, in other sectors, I think, for example, the cultural industry, we see also now a lot of techniques, videos, interaction between different media to have really nice and, for example, the last production of the Munt was really amazing with video images and a film effect within a theater. So I think it's a lot of opportunities to deal with. So I think it's good
to see that the digitalization is also happening in
is everywhere
where you are working.
Yes.
So Leen, making back the link to the music, what I was wondering is that I think if you are a musician and you have attention for beautiful things and harmony, that could also have a certain impact on the way you do a board role. Could you give us a little bit your insights on that subject?
I think the passion for music can have a lot of impact in board dynamics. Maybe I'm thinking about creativity, for example, and innovation. Engaging with music often enhances also creativity, and that can lead to innovative problem solving and fresh ideas in board meetings. Also, maybe stress relief. Music is a great stress reliever. A board member who uses music to unwind may be better equipped to handle high pressure situations and make clear, composed decisions. Also the team building spirit, maybe sharing a passion for music and making music together can help to strengthen relationships with other stakeholders, fostering a more collaborative and cohesive team environment. Also maybe enhancing listening skills. Musicians often develop keen listening skills which can translate into better communication and understanding during discussions and negotiations. Cultural awareness maybe too, it's really important in transactional work, or a love for music can also increase cultural awareness and sensitivity, I think, which is variable in diverse and global business environments. Maybe also the emotional part of the emotional intelligence. Music for me enhances emotional intelligence, and it's also something that could help boards to have more to more create empathic decision making.
Yeah. Well, I'm impressed because I was sure there are a few advantages knowing and understanding music, but the list is long. Maybe we should organize in GUBERNA a session about how board members can make use of these harmonies in music, because I think those things that you mentioned, like intelligence, increase the intelligence, emotional intelligence, helps a lot to create on a board level that famous challenge that we have, that we are not doing the operational work ourselves, but that we have to motivate others to do it, the ExCom and so on. And so many of the things you mentioned are in fact interesting. Now, coming back to the, I would say, more traditional questions we are asking, I will ask it to you as well. What are for you 3 important skills that each board member should have to do a good job?
Yeah, maybe it goes together with the skills that I mentioned about the cultural industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me personally, it is very educational because I have a diversity in roles and also different types of organizations where I try to contribute to good governance. But it's evident that all sectors and organizations have their uniqueness, but the role of a director serves the same goals everywhere, and it is aimed at the same principles to support the organization's strategy, to move forward, to voluntarily serve the organization, to do the right thing, and support management too in a solution-oriented manner. I think important skills for being a good director is to have a level of discretion, to be diplomatic, serving only the organization's interests, good listening skills, decisiveness, and also having a feel for the activities and the strategy of the domains in which you are active. And then also entrepreneurial spirit. It certainly helps. And the future vision on the long term, combined with flexibility, resilience, and a good sense of responsibility too. I think this is a recipe for a good director.
I think there's a long list, but I think if each of us has a few of them, then we can make a good board somewhere. But I think all of them are very valid. Now, I would say if you would now link that to the GUBERNA trainings that you have followed, were they contributing to help you in your tasks and in your challenges? And to what extent, concretely, for you?
For me, as I mentioned, everything started with the Female Fin Academy GUBERNA program of directors in the financial industry and within the role of General Counsel. But following that program, that made me familiar with the governance of financial institutions and provided me with the sense and the challenge to put it into practice. So maybe it started with GUBERNA. And it's interesting for me what GUBERNA is offering, that we stay informed and we keep learning from evolutions and experiences from others too. But the best learning school for me is to do it and to strive for good governance every day and to process and to facilitate that in the long term. Also within my role as a president, and that's another role, and it's also good that GUBERNA is focusing on all the different roles, and also, for example, within a committee working, it's another role than the president of the board. So and also the different industries. So GUBERNA is offering an interesting division that provides a forum for all that specific domains, and that's why.
And is the research content they are offering used by you and your board members, or?
Yes, in the past we worked already together, also for board evaluation. Yes, GUBERNA is offering an interesting division that provides a forum for all that various sectors in which I am active also, namely the social profits, financial industry, public sector, And GUBERNA also pays attention to the diversity of the roles, particularly for me then the role of a chairman, the committee working, the role of an independent director, because it's also really
specific.
Another role and a challenging role more. Family governance, within the family office I'm a director, the cultural policy, and also stakeholder management. And recently in my new role as a CEO, it's a partner organization, and that's also requires a new for me and a specific governance model. So GUBERNA is really helping me to offer and to educate in all the different roles and sectors. And also from a board evaluation perspective, I had a good experience with a GUBERNA assessment about board evaluation too. So thank you for that.
Okay. No, because we think that there is much more potential in that area, and the whole idea of GUBERNA is networking and experience sharing, and that is of course partly done with research, which is most probably the most important, but also how you do that in practice, and then doing on a regular basis kind of evaluation could help also to make know-how in general better. It's kind of the yin and the yang. One is the practice, the other is the theory, and then if you can bring that in balance. Now, are you making also use of the networking activities that GUBERNA is offering?
Yes, I do. I've more time to
yeah,
to
I
do
can
it.
imagine comparing with what your activities, but I mean,
I like also because it's also about experiences and sharing knowledge and the continuous learning. You can always learn from each other, and also nice to meet people from different perspectives and with different roles. So it's really inspiring also, the network.
Yeah. Okay, Leen, thank you very much for sharing your insights. I would say to the audience, if you have interest to learn more about it, we have also the written version in which we add normally the whole text, including also some links to interesting information that Leen thinks that she can also share. So thanks for your attention, and talk to you next time.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you also to GUBERNA. It was really a pleasure to be here.